And we got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a hey now, Metal Mike coming at you. I'm on fire. It's because I just got done with an amazing weekend of NFL football. The playoffs, are sometimes, to me, honestly, better than the Super Bowl. But the last few Super Bowls that we've had, last year's Patriots come from behind victory, etc. Very exciting as well. So, with that being said, it is Monday morning. I guess it's about 9 o'clock right now. I got some Motorhead playing in the background, live at the Roundhouse 1978 bootleg. It is vicious. I'm in the bunker. What's new, right? I'll tell you what, the new thing that I'm really kind of into is going back to my roots. When I was a young boy, my father owned a comic book store in the 1970s. I love comic books, and I really love the Bronze era of comic books, and that's 1950s to, I guess, 1970s, kind of a window right in there. Maybe I'm off a little bit on it, but that's the era I love. The very first Amazing Spider-Man #1, who doesn't want that in their collection? The Hulk #1. So, this is a reach out. You know that I'm constantly always trying to trade my treasures, my collection. I've got everything. You name it. I've got books. I've got heavy metal records. I've got punk rock records. I've got old toys. I've got steel press toys. I've got tins. I've got magazines. I've got trinkets. I've got folk art, old signs, this and that. I've got a lot of junk. Go through any of my videos, and if you see something you're interested in, let's do a trade, let's do a bargain. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a Hulk #1. Now here's the thing. Obviously a Hulk #1 is worth thousands of dollars. But what I'm looking for is the worst of the worst. I'm looking for a ragged up, beat down, shitty Hulk #1. Any very early Spider-Man, like 1 through 25, any Hulk #1 through 25 that are beat down and shitty, I want them. I want them all ragtag, soft covers folded over, scotch tape on the corners, you name it. Those are the ones that I'm looking for to collect right now, because realistically, the mint pristine ones in the thousands of dollars. And I'm not in that position financially, and I think that getting in at that level, I can get in. And there's actually a market now for that real tail end relic shithole condition stuff. So if you have those, I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna make a great trade offer to you and overcompensate for the value that you'll be giving me, because those shitty comics that I'm asking for right now, the beat down, raggy, stained, scotch tape, corner nipped off, etc., those have value. And I'll step up to the plate on it, and I'll give you a hell of a trade. So, with that being said, I've made my plea to you for old comics. I just love the old military ones. Sergeant Rock, Our Army at War, Hulk #1. I'm looking for Amazing Spider-Man #1. Anything between, like I said, 1 and 25. I'm just repeating myself and filibustering this point, but I can't help it to be clear about that. And I will put together a trade for you. So, now we will do what I said we were going to do 5 minutes ago before I started my rant. And very typical of me to just go off, as I'm doing right now, instead of getting to the point. And let's look at some items. Now I'm going to try to work on my skills with my camera. Hey, we do it old school. I'm holding the fucking flip camera. We're going to go out into the bunker, the deep cold bunker, and I'm going to see how long I can take. The hell with that, I'm putting a shirt on. Probably about, 25, 30 degrees outside, but I'll tell you what, living in Minnesota, it can be 30 below zero, and with the wind chill, etc., and I don't feel cold, and then it can be 20 degrees and I feel cold. I think that's old age and just the constant weather change. The body, is so sensitive. So as I button up here like Mr. Rogers, how you doing, guys? Gonna have a great day today. Let's get into our junk. Let's slip our tennis shoes on. And I advise you to do the same at home. Put on some comfortable clothes, get a nice cup of coffee, and let's get something done today. What am I going to do? Oh, good Lord. I should be listening on eBay. I really should. But I'm just not feeling it. And I don't like to force myself when I'm not feeling it, because then it becomes a job. And I don't want it to be that. I want it to all be about fun. And I got to get back to eBay, and I'll tell you why. Because there used to be a real excitement when I was on eBay originally. It was neat to throw an item on with no idea where it's going to go. And I know it's dark in here, but I'm turning the lights on. That's right, it's dark. It's daytime in Minnesota. And it's a little nippy out here. But we're in the bunker, and we're going to try to show you some items and just zoom in on them. So, let's go over here. A lot of these you've seen before, guys. But let's focus on a couple of things. Here's a great old cigar jar. This would be on a counter in a store, general store. Kind of a tobacco collector. Sadly, it's got a nick here. Not a bad one, though. Just a little bit of sharpness to it. But very early Congress, Chicago. So this would hold your cigars. It doesn't have the lid anymore. And the name of the La P-A-L-L or P-A-L-I-N-A. The quality cigar since 1896. Very early. You know, we'll put it right here against the black so you can really see it. It's a little bit cleaned up. It's got a little, as I'm seeing a little bit of green in the glass, a tint to it. Very, very faint. Hoping you guys are catching that too as I turn it. Beautiful piece, though, huh? You gotta love it. That looks good. That's a great collectible on many levels because, number one, you can throw that on any shelf and it's gonna look good. And if you're a collector of the stuff, obviously you're going to throw it in with your other thing. Here's a little goofy oddball piece. Now, this is kind of unique because this is a German candle for this particular person, maybe Prussian Imperial. Made in Western Germany, so this predates after World War II. But the candle's never been used. And, sorry for my loud clearing of the throat there. I'm very close to the camera. It's just a neat piece. Why do I have it? I don't know. I think it's like all of us. We find neat items along the way and we try to save them. Now, typically, a candle is going to have dings in it from bumping into things. If you'll look at this, this has somehow survived because a bump squishes the wax, you're done. And it's just in great condition. Beautiful. The fact that I, myself, have not ruined it is amazing. Now, I'm going to show you one more candle. I've got two candles here. This one's really cool. Look at this. So it's pretty large. I'm going to have to pull it back further. So we've got an Indian there. Or maybe not. Maybe just a very early. Now there's a crack. You know, that could just be pressure from age. But look at this scene. They are Indians. And they're fighting. They got the dog here. They got the wild boars that they're chasing after. You got another dog back here. Really amazing detail. I mean, it actually looks patinaed, worn from touch more than anything. And somehow it has not been destroyed, other than that one crack right there, which is probably a pressure crack. Doesn't run too deep into the core, but it does run the length. I guarantee you that's just pressure from the cold or age, but actually there's a ding right there, so I probably bumped it at some point or prior to me getting it. But just a neat candle. A neat candle. I think I've got only I've got about 4 candles, I guess. And that's about it. You know, what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of just poking around off camera, trying to find something to show you, something neat. Let's just grab that camera, because I think we can move around a little bit better. We've seen most of this stuff before, right? This is that can that I picked up last week. Just sucked into the hoard like it's always been here. I love the graphics on it. I can't remember what I got into it. Not much. I could have probably even got it for cheaper. Very common, but this is a larger 2 gallons. I think the smaller one is more common. This one, though, is neat. It's got a tag on it that's original to it. Here's a great old tin toy, the sand chute, with the little cart there. Nice one. And here's a great train. I picked this up at the flea market. You've seen this before. I think I got it last year. Got it relatively cheap. It's a really early one. I'm going to zoom in on the... It's got some value. I did a little research on it before. This one's a little roughed up, but hell, I got it dirt cheap if I remember right. And that's what you want to do. Now here's another a cute little tin can. You've seen it before. But I love the little bumblebees on there. Pure honey with the lid. Kind of neat. So let's kind of look through here and see if we can spot something. We've got an old oil can here 1 quart liquid, real early, nice bottom on it. These are just great. You know, these move like hotcakes if you're a dealer and you're looking for stuff to fill your shop. You can find this stuff out there at garage sales, still pretty cheap. They're out there. And cans, I'm blown away with the market on this. Not these in particular. But just watching the live auctions, signs and oil cans right now are fucking hot as shit. Some of them, I've always loved them, are cool, and you can see why they're sought after. But man, I'll tell you what, literally anything is moving right now, except for the ones it seems that I have. But man, boys, just some real bland 1970 ones are bumping out at good prices. You gotta love this Comet jetliner here. This was a flea market find going on about 2 years ago. I bought a whole box of flea market tins of planes from a guy. And I just love this stuff. And I showed you these this summer. I picked these up at the flea market, old model kits, or actually I think these are yep, these are model kits. Either that or they're the promos, but someone has customized them in the 1960s and made them into a real rat rod. Really cool styles. You gotta love them. Here's another one. This is an old one. I've had this one. Boy, I bet you I've had it about 5-6 years now. And I like it. I like picking these up. I've got boxes of these old models, and there's some big market there too. I tell you, there's a lot of market everywhere. And I gotta get rid of some shit. And I got a lot of paper goods down here. I've got some old Tonka boxes. I don't have the trucks themselves, but there was a few years ago, about 8 years ago, it was amazing. It was over in St. Paul. I was just driving down an alley, and there were a couple garbage bags next to a trash can, and they were throwing out old toys. Oh my God, I was just grabbing the garbage bags and throwing them in the van. Boy, I got tons of cool shit, and I can't imagine the stuff that I missed. So that's why I always tell you, no matter where you are on the spectrum, whether you're a picker, you're high end, you know, there's a lot of slang thrown around in the picking world of bottom feeders, the guys that go out there and drive the alleys, etc. It's an insult, right? They're because they're too good for that. But let me tell you what, those bottom feeders, those people that go and drive the alleys, those are the guys that are finding the true treasures. You can hit all the fucking garage sales you want. You can hit all the estate sales you want. You can comb through Craigslist. You can go on eBay Live or Facebook Live, whatever the hell you want to do. But there is nothing better than getting out and beating those fucking streets. If you get so lucky to find a dumpster of an old house sitting on the street, topped off with antiques, I'll tell you what, you are going to score some of the most unique and rare treasures you've ever found, and the best stuff I ever found. Excuse how I sound angry, I'm not. I'm just trying to tell you the truth of the matter. I've been in this game since I was a young boy. As I've told you before, walking the alleys, climbing in and out of dumpsters as a young boy in St. Paul. 7, 8 years old. Picking a dumpster. Those are the places where I have found and saved the most amazing. The landfills of America are where the most unique and rarest shit goes. Because if you don't save it out of that dumpster, it's gone unless somebody else picks it clean at the dumpster. But they're not going to get it all. And it's sad. It is truly sad. But thank God that is still there. That is why this sport of collecting, picking, junking, Sanford and Son in it, whatever you want to call it, wherever you fit on the spectrum, it is the one last, besides hunting for gold, where you can get out there and find a treasure and hit the big time. Now you sit there and you say, well, those are rare and far in between. It's very true. You may live your whole life and only find that one treasure. Now, I have found a ton of cool shit over the years. Really rad, cool shit. But I've never hit the big time. Now, so you got that coming then. That's the mentality you've got to have. If you haven't found that item and you're like, you're starting to beat yourself down, you're like, fuck, I never score the big item. That's a good thing. That means you're that much closer to it. It's better to still be hunting for it than have found it 10 years behind you and you're trying to recapture it. Keep hunting, keep picking, please. No matter what you do, thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, whatever your frickin' what's the word I'm looking for? I can't find it, but whatever your situation is, wherever you fall on the spectrum, as we're going to say, drive an alley. Every now and then, when you've got a little time and you can do a little carving, you say, well, I'm headed this way. But you're in no rush. It's kind of calm. Just kick down a couple alleys and you can carve to wherever your destination will be. But do that. Be aware of trash days, you know, and if you got the day off and you know it's trash day and it's 7 in the morning, get in the car and just go cruise. You don't know what you're going to find next to a dumpster. I am telling you, the most amazing stuff. I'm filibustering, I'm going back, I'm repeating myself, but it is the reality. The most beautiful furniture. The rarest of the rarest items. And I'm sorry I can't give you examples right off the top of my head, but it has happened, and it's really out there. So take that fun. Take that little... It's no different than going out and panning for gold. You might drive those alleys and find absolutely shit. But if you're driving down there and all of a sudden you see this beautiful Mission Oak secretary desk that is just gorgeous with the free sign on it, that is what you want to find. That is rad. And that's what it's all about. Get out there, get picking, get hunting, and let's trade. I'm still looking for German helmets, man. I haven't gotten any offers. Woo! I got a lot of junk and I want it gone. Look at this. I got all these freaking toys. I got all this clutter. All this hoard. And I'm reaching out to you guys that are watching my videos. I need that one German helmet, so let me get rid of a big chunk of my hoard to you, and you give me that one German helmet. So I downsize, I get the helmet, you get a bunch of really cool shit to throw in your shop, throw in your collection, throw on your wall, whatever the hell you want. If you just want it because I picked it and saved it, remember, all these items are simply picked from passion. I have always looked at things what I love. Is that cool? Of course, as I've learned along the way, there's other items that you start to look for that maybe you would pass right by because there's no interest, and you've learned that maybe a rare doorknob is very sought after hardware off of a dresser suddenly has great appeal and value to somebody. And just the quality and the craftsmanship of all these things, these old items. So all of my items, getting back to the point, are handpicked with love. All of my items, I've seen it and I go, that is cool. And so it has made it into these tubs and this hoard. At 50 years old, you know, I'm going to knock on the wood hard. I want 100. That's what I want out of life. That's what I seek. And if I'm so blessed to get it, I'll be stoked. But that's how I'm living, with that in mind. And so I've got to downsize. I've got to get rid of some of this shit. But in the meantime, I also want to bump my collection up of my military stuff and my comic books. So let's trade. Steel pressed toys, too. I do want those. I like the real early ones. The larger, you know, obviously, the steel pressed. But so like the Tonkas and the stuff after that, I would let go. If you've got a large steel pressed dump truck that's really rad, but you're more into Tonka, etc., we'll make a trade. If you have a German helmet, we'll make a trade. If you have an Iron Cross, we will make a trade. Bayonets, we can trade. Daggers, we can trade. Swords, we can trade. I want them. Woo! German helmets, Japanese helmets, U.S. World War I and World War II helmets, I want them. Please, let's do some trading. Let me get rid of some of my collection to you, and let me get one piece from you so I can downsize and unload some of these beautiful items that are sitting here and need new homes. All of these items need new homes. Damn near. I want this. My goal is to empty this frickin' garage. I actually only want these back walls to have shit. As I'm getting older, it's getting to the tight now, but I'm going to slow down a little bit. But I'm looking to trade. So we've got some cool stuff, and if you want to make a deal, let's do it. Contact me. Follow me on Facebook, Mike Lund. You can find me there, or Michael Lund, Mike Lund, Michael Lund. I'm in Minnesota, not obviously. In case you didn't know, I am. And I've got all kinds of stuff. Look at these toppers here for license plates. I mean, there's just stuff all over in here. And all I want is your German helmets. And all I want is a Hulk #1 all ragtagged and beat up, and I will compensate to you, believe me, because I know the value there. But we got lots of toys. Let's do a wide shot, eh? Loaded. Loaded, kids. Ready to trade. Willie Coyote says, come on, hey-ya!